I wanted to do a short video on continuity because this is something that is so important that I have actually known actors that have gotten fired because their continuity was so bad, or in the most extreme example, I've known actors that have actually been cut out of projects because the editor couldn't put their scenes together. Remember, most editors today are not writers and they're not directors, and they're just looking to get through the day and put the puzzle together as best they can visually. This is Acting as an Art Form, take 7 or 8, or I actually don't know what take this is. Now in the example we're going to look at, I take full responsibility for not informing the actor of what I was actually going for and where the edit point was going to be. If I would have took the time to do that, I'm completely confident that Adrian would have been able to execute the movement that we're going to look at, and I would have had a great edit point and the edit would have been seamless. But this short clip we're going to look at was shot in an acting class, and we were trying to accomplish multiple things. I didn't have a script supervisor and I didn't have anyone helping me with continuity, and I just missed it. This example covers one of the most common situations that actors are going to be in no matter what genre they're working in. The character starts the scene on their feet and then is asked to sit down somewhere. Now there are always multiple ways to execute any series of shots, but we're going to look at what I think is the most common way to put this particular edit together. The edit point is made on the actor's downward movement as they're sitting into the chair, so that spot has to match exactly in terms of the actor's visual continuity. Let's watch the takes back to back and see if you can spot anything unusual about them. In particular, watch the second edit and see if there's anything that we could have done to make that edit more seamless.
It's not good to be lost in the desert.
Right. They say people go to the desert to die.
It's not good to be lost in the desert.
Right? They say people go to the desert to die.
In the first take, I used a creative choice that matched the scene and the song that the scene was written to pay homage to, A Horse with No Name by the band America.
Right.
Now in the second take, Adrian is on her feet and I want her to sit down. Watch her head position and eye line carefully.
They say people go to the desert to die.
She's standing up, and as she moves to sit, her head tilts down and her eye line goes to her target. This is what we do naturally, but in film, sometimes actors have to be trained to do things that are not natural. When we get to the edit point in the second shot, Adrian's head is tilted up and her eye line is on the other actor.
They say people go to the desert to die.
Now this is how I would prefer it, but I didn't tell her to do that in the first shot, and so it doesn't match exactly.
It's not good to be lost in the desert.
Right? They say people go to the desert to die.
That it came out okay, but it's jarring. If I would have just picked one way or the other and asked Adrian to repeat it, she could have done it, and this edit would have been seamless. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, this was shot in a class and there was just too much going on and I just missed it. But you can just watch any film or TV show and you'll see this exact edit repeated many, many times. The point is that these continuity flaws happen every single day on dozens of sets all across Hollywood, and it's our mantra in Acting as an Art Form that it's up to the actor to know these things ahead of time, be executionally perfect so that they can save the editor having to make a difficult decision and maybe even leaving them on the cutting room floor. The best way to avoid that is to have every single take you do be perfect in terms of continuity. This is something that can be mastered with practice and with a little bit of instruction, and there's no reason whatsoever that your best emotional takes should be on the cutting room floor because the editor can't figure out a way to put them together. That's it for today. Leave me a comment on what you think about continuity and I'll answer any questions that I see down there.